To another edition of Ask Michael Eline. This is where I teach people the law in an unorthodox manner by using examples that we see in the news, case law briefs, but it's all about exposing the Leviathan and its instrumentalities and taking back your rights. Know the law and mean to keep it well. Come here to learn from an expert to know your right. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. That's right. We never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel.
Yep.
So you better like and subscribe, guys. Right, Basel? Or are you going to come after them? You're going to do a recon mission.
Do a little recon, man. Little recon. Hell, I had an operation going on first thing this morning before I even got situated.
Really? Was it direct action or indirect action?
Oh man, I was reconning and stalking my prey in a parking lot with lights on. I ran them off too. Ran them off after I got about 40 people in the live.
That's outstanding.
What I'm doing is, I'm sitting in the back waiting till the room fills up, watching the cops.
Yeah.
To where they don't see me. They might see the car for a second, but they don't actually see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then when I get enough people in there, I just start creeping over. And then I get close enough, they're looking at me, and I just go, bam, there's the phone right there. And today, the one guy turned on his lights to show that, okay, I see you, or intimidate me or something. And then after about another 10 more seconds, they bolted out. Of course, I was screaming at the guy about turning off his lights because he was leaving them on as he was leaving. So
everybody, if you don't know Basel, he's an auditor, cop watcher, and he follows cops around and catches them on tape doing dumb stuff, like meeting with their girlfriend at a hotel, that kind of stuff. He's pretty good. And then I got James Forbes in the house on the sidebar here. I want to give everybody a shout out. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday. There were just some things. We weren't even going to have a show today, but after our live show last night, good old BZWatchdog did some investigative journalism, little recon mission, did a little indirect action, little direct action, reached out to the Las Vegas Records Department. I'll let him fill you in all the blanks in a minute, but we got a response back about the second case with Chille, where we're trying to find a way to get his videotape evidence into evidence is a matter of judicial notice and have it be made part of whatever the record is maintained by the city, because they have obviously the officers' body cams. But really quick, Avilia Gill, thank you for showing up. Shock Prof, Brick Audits, as always, thank you. Avilia Gill, James Forbes, Jim Duthit, always following us around. Brick Jonesy, Citizens Broadcasting. I love having Citizens Broadcasting because you always have a really unique point of view where you're not just parroting the popular view. You're bold enough and brave enough to have your own point of view, which I am too, and I appreciate that. And then Let's OTVO, of course, man, my favorite, always supporting the cause of holding the government accountable and public servants accountable, because after all, they control the purse strings, and all power apparently comes from the barrel of a gun. If you've been following what's going on the campuses here with a lot of stuff. One of my family members had their USC graduation canceled because I guess the Hamas supporters are causing trouble there. I guess they won't even let the Jewish professors on the campus. Reminds me of Nazi Germany. Not that I was there, but from the stories that I've heard about the way they treated people in the school system there, like right after the Weimar Republic fell. So let's see here. Scrubzilla, thanks for joining us. Jody, Chevy, as always, thank you. All right, so we're going to get into it, guys, because we're not going to bore you. We have, and I'm going to let BZ narrate this for me.
How about I start and tell them, check that down real quick, and let me just tell these guys what I did.
Stand by. I'm going to put you up all for yourself. Go for it.
Because I got to make a little fact correction on Mr. Michael Eline, attorney at law. I didn't reach out to any records department.
Oh.
I actually created a record to help Chille. I kind of went at it in a certain way. I kind of mentioned it the last live last night, but I actually followed through with it. So what I did is I typed up an email with a link to Chille Decastro's Delete Laws live stream video where he covers the arrest on that second case, the one we've been covering for the last week or two with Ryan on the show, and trying to help him exonerate him on a second case because he's already got enough shit to deal with in the dungeon. So with that being said, I sent an email to the actual prosecutor who will be prosecuting the case or assigning it to a lower prosecutor in his office. And I sent the email at about 7:30, 7:45 p.m. Pacific time, which is Vegas time, on a Friday evening. And within 7 minutes, I actually had a response from the prosecuting attorney. And that's where this email comes into play. So I'm going to have him put up the email. We're going to narrate, and I'm going to read you guys the correspondence back and forth that is now public record. So they can't get rid of this email. I have copies of it, and we can also do a public information request for his emails now that I know where they are and who they're between.
All right. So I'm going to let you kind of narrate here. I'm going to be the prop man, so to speak, like the old Three Stooges. I'll be back there making all of them. Hey, Mo. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight here. This is from Basel, and it's to Jeff Doracock at LasVegasNevada.gov. And this is the case number here, guys. This is the case that we were talking about the other night, where we were talking about the difference between a FOIA request and a state records request, and it had to do to a post office FOIA that he was working on in Texas. Now, this one, he just got a wild hair up his butt being a Marine and decided while we were doing that show that he would send out this email. And I'm going to go ahead and let you take over, Basil. Go for it.
All right. So what I did was I put the link to Chille's video up there and on the very bottom, so that way they can't say they overlooked it or missed it. So he's got it highlighted down there at the bottom. Now go back up, and I'm just going to go ahead and read this email to you guys real quick. So it's, Dear Jeff Dorakak, I am a concerned citizen who is from Las Vegas, Nevada. I didn't say I resided in, I'm from there, and I am. I am a member of the First Amendment community and have watched this video and can prove that these police officers violated a citizen's rights and escalated an aggressive nature towards a citizen who invoked his First Amendment right of freedom of press. There, in fact, was another media person on the other side of the crime tape down the way. According to Chille Decastro's video, he was directed by two officers to cross over the crime tape and instructed to cross back into a parking lot where several officers were sitting around doing nothing, and was caught off guard by his presence and was very confused about where the crime scene was. Mr. Decastro explained to the supervisor twice that he was instructed by another officer to cross the crime scene tape and to come back into the parking lot, and that he even had it on camera. They even acknowledged that he wasn't in the crime scene area when they were instructed to move the crime scene tape where Mr. Decastro was currently standing to prevent him from filming. This is clearly a First Amendment violation and also a battery by the officer when escorting him further away from the crime scene tape on a parking lot and public sidewalk. As a concerned citizen who has seen this video all over social media, I could not in good faith convict Mr. Decastro beyond a reasonable doubt. I hope that you watch this video with great detail, where Mr. Decastro has broken down his movements in this film along with the actions of these officers. These officers need to be retrained on how to deal with the public exercising their First Amendment rights. Also, when instructing a member of the public, one supervisor or one officer should be having a de-escalating encounter instead of multiple officers escalating a situation that could have been dangerous for a citizen and potentially an officer. I do not remember Las Vegas Metro PD to be so reckless and allow their feelings to be hurt so easily. If they cannot handle the stress or the job, they should find another job in the private sector. I feel these officers are actually putting lives in danger. Since they have taken federal money for de-escalation training and did not apply it here when they should have, I am asking for a refund of my federal tax money or a dismissal of this case. If you choose to prosecute this case, it could be disastrous for everyone in an elected position in an election year, as we saw with Mr. Decastro in the case where Judge Zimmerman overstepped her authority and punished someone because their feelings were hurt. If she was running for her position again with all of the publicity she has recently gotten over this, I am positive she would not have been reelected. Sincerely, a concerned citizen. Yeah, not defund, Chevy. I want a refund.
Right. And then it looks like this is...
That was me to Jeff, the city prosecuting attorney. And if you scroll down, that was at 7:01 p.m., I guess, is when I sent it. Pacific time.
Mm-hmm.
And he responded, I believe. Wait, go back up.
I'm trying to find the response here. So it says here the case
keep
number.
Keep going down, because that's the end of the email.
Looks like that's you responding.
No, yeah, keep going down. Right up. Go back up. There you go. That's my reply right there. That's where I got my first response. The city helps fund Metro, but Metro is its own entity. To that end, issues and complaints are best directed to them or their citizen review board. Let me know if you have any other questions. Jeff. So you responded back. Now go back. Go to the next email.
There and then yours is, I'm sorry about the rant with...
Yep, I'm sorry about the rant with NYPD, but please look at the link I sent you when you are in the office on Monday, and please review. These charges in good faith should be dropped. I do not know if you are the prosecuting attorney or will be assigning the case, but I am just recommending in good faith to watch this video. It is already all over the internet. I think the evidence is clear. He did not break the law. Have a good weekend, and thanks for responding back so promptly.
And then I will watch the video, but who are you saying is the charging agency? It may be the DA, not the city. I would have to check.
Now, if you go up, now it says right here, we'll go down, scroll down, right. And that's where I responded. The case is in the subject. It'll be in the municipal court with Judge Cynthia Luang, Las Vegas Municipal Court, Department 1, which is city. Mm-hmm. If you go up, it says, he responds, thanks.
Ah, got it. That makes sense. Okay. Good job, Basel. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So, guys, that's one of the things about the public records requests and about just doing basic discovery in general is that sometimes you'll get discovery without even asking for it. And in this case, we found out a lot of valuable information, and that could then be tailored into another public records request. So once you find out something, for example, you find out an officer's name because they wouldn't give it to you. Now you can ask for their personnel file because now you have their name and their badge number, or whatever, if they wouldn't give it to you. So, sometimes they'll volunteer it. In this case, the attorney, I think, is saying that, well, it could be a different agency. So now there's different agencies. That you're learning about the jurisdictional differences in how Las Vegas, the counties and the cities and whatnot are set up in Nevada. So it's really interesting. And these are all things that a lawyer would be able to use to be able to formulate discovery requests and other things later on down the road if we had to file a civil rights lawsuit. So this was really terrific information that Basel was able to dig up during a live stream that we were working on together. So everybody give Basel a bunch of ones in the sidebar for helping us out and get that information. Basel, do you have anything else you want to say about this and about what you intend on doing as far as follow-up?
Well, no, my only question as of right now, I know you're a personal injury attorney, but you have done criminal law.
Yeah.
When they do, whether he watches the link or not, he has the evidence that he has to provide in discovery, correct?
Well, I don't necessarily know that him having a link to a YouTube video would be entered into evidence. However, it would seem to me that Chille or his attorney could enter it into evidence independently based upon the judge or a court taking judicial notice, because it is a journalistic report that's published all across the internet.
Well, the video isn't just a video. It's actually Chille's live stream where he breaks down his own video.
I understand that. So basically that whole video may be considered allowed as evidence based upon just having it entered in as by having the court take judicial notice of it. However, typically what would happen is the videotape would have to be authenticated as true and authentic. And the way that would be done in a criminal case where it's actually belongs to an actual defendant. I'm not really sure how that would be done in Nevada, but there are issues because, you know, you have the right to rely on the Fifth Amendment. And if you get up on the stand and testify that this videotape is true and accurate, that could have blowback. So we would want to know what Chille's attorney would advise him to do in Nevada. If it was in California, I would find a way to get the tape authenticated. I would at least have it introduced as direct material evidence, because it proves at least that my client was there for the purpose of filming, and it corroborates what we already believe, which is that he's engaged in a First Amendment activity, and he's a journalist. He said, "I'm a journalist." So anyways, we didn't want to go too much into this follow-up just yet with Chille, because there's not enough, but we wanted to give you that little tidbit of information. Now, tomorrow I plan on going to visit him at the detention center and may live stream a little bit either tomorrow night or maybe late on Monday night with Basel about what's going on over there. He's got some things that he wants me to work on, which we kind of talked about, the segregation product for the jails to segregation project, where we're going to try to get legislation pushed forward to segregate jails based upon violent behavior, nonviolent behavior, and people with psychotic behavior. So you're not just throwing them into this big gladiator school and giving normal people PTSD and destroying them over a nonviolent offense, which is ridiculous. These people should not be in jail, these nonviolent offenders. This is a prison industrial complex, people. We need to wake up to that reality. We need to start thinking we're $75 trillion in debt. We have more people in our prisons, I think, than they have in communist China in their prisons, and they have billions of people there. So think about that, guys. That's crazy. So, Basel, do you have anything else that you want to say about Chille or the records request? Because I want to move on to this two New York PD officers and the story about them and what's going on.
I will be following up on Monday afternoon or early Tuesday morning with the prosecution to see what he wants to do with the video, if he's seen it, and see if he's got any kind of comment or statement that he wants to make about the video. You know, he may or may not talk to me. I mean, I'm surprised I even got an email back, to be honest with you.
That's outstanding. So give me a bunch of ones, guys, if you appreciate Basil's hard work and learning the system without even being a lawyer, so he can help people and he's not even charging for it. Give a bunch of ones for that. Make sure to like and subscribe to BZWatchdog's channel. Let's get his watch hours up. What I'd like to ask every one of you guys to do is in your community tabs to please take one of Basil's videos and share it in your community tab with instructions to please watch the entire video. This is for a friend who's engaged in helping people, so we can get his watch hours up. I'd really appreciate it if you do that for Chille, guys. Do it as a favor to Chille, because with Basel out there, BZWatchdog out there, he's out there helping Chille too in the cause. And so I want to keep this positive energy going. Now, what we're going to talk about right now, I'm going to give you a full screen. So what happened here is this is a really interesting story, and it shows why so many people are angry and upset about this double standard that politicians and police have, that we don't get to have. You know, like their kids get off, their people get off, they get special treatment and we don't. So this is a case that's been going on since like 2023, and we're finally hearing about it. And as you see in the title, let's go, bro, she's waking up. 2 NYPD officers are arrested for allegedly assaulting a woman while off duty. So they're at this bar. Just read it to you. They're at this bar. They were arrested, slapped with several sexual abuse charges for allegedly raping an extremely drunk woman. And they were charged with all this bad stuff, first-degree abuse. I don't think I'm allowed to say all these words on a stream, so I'll be careful.
Yeah, it said the RAP one. So, welcome to another demonetized video live stream rendition of Michael Elon.
Surveillance footage provided by Zona de Cuba to authorities captured by the officers supported the woman by her arms as she was escorted out of a bar around 12:37 a.m. because she was unable to stand on her own, according to a criminal complaint. The officers allegedly then transported the woman to a nearby apartment building where a female acquaintance lived. And The video shows that the two men carried her into a building and her eyes were closed and the mouth was open. The woman said she woke up around 7:30 a.m., went to a Bronx hospital for a RAPE test kit. She told investigators when she came to, she realized it was an unfamiliar bedroom, and these two dudes went to town on her while she was all screwed up on alcohol. The woman also recalled that Alcantara Santiago encouraged Garcia to RAP her while she lay motionless on the bed. Nah, bro, she's too out of it, Garcia allegedly said. Shortly after that, she told police that she heard him telling Alcantara Santiago, let's go, bro, she's waking up. In February, the officers agreed to take a cheek swab test, and the DNA found that it was theirs. And they were just arraigned on Tuesday. And there's a video showing this interaction on Twitter. I will put this in the description. They were held on 50.
Wait. So if they got, I got a question. Whoa, slow the roll.
July 9th, the July 9th, 2023 assault.
Slow that roll down. If they got a cheek swab and they know they did it, why would they allow them to get out? They should just stay there. I mean, do we even know what these guys look like?
Well, we're going to go to that one next. So, guys, this is pretty wild. They were given a $50,000. Santiago was held on a $50,000 cash bail or a $75,000 bond.
Should have been a lot more for that crime.
Well, but yeah, but they let violent offenders out because, all these scumbag cities are trying to pretend like they have less crime, so they're reducing all the penalties for felonies to make it look like there's less crime, so they can lie to their people and say crime's down when they run for re-election. It's just all political garbage. But both officers pled not guilty and posted bail. They finally were suspended without pay. That's amazing.
Wow, without pay.
Can you believe it?
What a shocker.
Oh, man. Yeah. Anyone living in New York who has been abused, there's this number here. It's called 1-800-942-6906. So you can get free counseling. So that's nice. You get some free counseling.
Should be 1-800 don't call the police.
Be nice if they could just lock up scumbags and not let people on the police force who are worse than the criminals they're supposed to put in jail, right? So let's take a look over here. And so again, I don't want to get in trouble for like sharing stuff, but this is for educational purposes, guys. I'm just showing this because I want you to see how the press treats cops and the difference between the way they treat cops and the different and then regular people like you and I. So check this out. Hopefully I get this bad chicken to play.
There ain't nothing regular about Big Dom, homie.
Of sexually abusing a drunk woman. 40-year-old Julio Alcantara Santiago and 32-year-old Christian Garcia both faced several charges.
Does that answer your question, Basel? So this is how they're displaying these officers.
Am I going to have, they're under investigation right now, so I guarantee you they'll block any kind of public information records.
Well, wait a minute. There's already video out there on the internet showing these guys dragging this drunk woman out of the bar so they can go have their way with her. So there's already video out there. I'm sure if you use the Wayback Machine, you can probably find images of these guys all over the internet. Cops tend to have, department footage and, footage and all that.
But even if she wasn't passed out, who's to say they don't pull their gun or knives on her and make her do it? Because you're not even allowed to own pepper spray in New York City. You have no way of defending yourself against the criminals with badges.
Let's take a look at a little bit more of this video because it's real short and just see what she's got to say about it.
Sexual abuse and sexual misconduct. Prosecutors say the pair assaulted the woman after meeting her in a bar in the Bronx last year. The two officers are suspended without pay.
All right. So we kind of got that one. We kind of understand the way it's working here. So basically we have these out of control cops. And look, we've seen a constant race to the bottom with hiring standards for cops. And now they're even letting illegal aliens on the police force in LA and in New York. So would you want to have an illegal alien who doesn't know what it's like to be an American, probably has never served in the military, doesn't even understand the Bill of Rights or the Constitution, never even had to take a test like our forefathers did, like my family when they came Sweden through Ellis Island, they actually had to become a natural, learn how to become an American, learn about the country, learn about our origins and all that stuff, and swear an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution. So
wait, there's the kicker, but there's the kicker right there, Mike.
What's
Just
that?
because you swear an oath doesn't mean you're going to uphold it. So I mean,
oh, that's true. That's why you want to, right? So if you grew up here, and if you're from here, it's your team. It's Team USA. But if you're just somebody from another country who just was released from a Venezuelan prison, or comes from a communist country who's been taught from cradle to grave that the government's supposed to take care of you, you're probably not going to effectively be able to contribute to our society. And what I'm saying is, the smart countries only allow people in who are intelligent, and they want to educate the people who are here to be intelligent and be law abiding. And now we have the law enforcement agencies scraping the bottom of the barrel. And I believe that this is a symptom of that problem. This is just garbage politics in, garbage politics out.
That's why we need less police and more armed people on the streets.
We need less. Yeah, I mean, we need less government. I mean,
well, I'm saying less government, more guns. Because you know what? Think about the cowboy days. Everybody carried a gun. Nobody disrespected anybody because they knew they would probably get shot.
Well, that might be true in a lot of situations.
One marshal. That's all you need. One marshal. And that's just to let you out of the jail after you've had a night of being drunk.
Well, also, we had Americans united behind a common flag, and for the most part, and people they would go to church for the most part, and people feared God. They feared punishment and things like that. Afterlife. They believed in an afterlife. And in fact, our Constitution is based upon the belief in a creator. John Locke and natural law is really what makes our country different from all the other countries, is that we stand for the proposition that our rights can't be taken away by man, and that our founding documents were designed to constrain politicians and the government, to bind them, to make them leave us alone to the greatest degree possible, to let us engage in commerce and be happy. And so that's a big difference. And so now we have these law enforcement officers who are being charged with doing these unspeakable acts to this woman. And this is happening a lot. And what we just saw, people, is they're hiding their faces, and that this was back in 2023. So put it in the comments if you know, were they just suspended without pay? Have they been working this whole time? That's really disconcerting. What do you think about that? Could you believe? Do you think that they've been working this whole time?
Of course. I mean, they say that they have positive ID, but we all know that a lawyer's going to sit there and try to argue that it was consensual, that they knew, that it had to be mistaken, that they were on duty. I mean, we all know lawyers lie. I mean, change the narrative.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I sent you a link on another article very similar that somebody had mentioned in the comment section. But it's actually a former Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. So I just want to show you guys how not great they are. It's not just the NYPD, even though they are the worst.
Well, I'm trying to find. Give me a second. While you're talking, I'm gonna.
I sent it to your email. No, kid, I ain't gonna put your email. It's just messing.
Let me. Did you send it to me just now, or?
Yeah, just now.
All right, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna open it up.
Roll that bad chicken.
Okay, so this is really an article here, and it talks about a former Las Vegas police officer, Brett Thiel, and it shows no emotion as he is sentenced to multiple life sentences. And this had to do with what?
It had to do with sex abuse and a child over a decade.
Oh, I heard about this story. Oh, is there a video? Okay, we could listen to it if you want.
There's a picture of the guy too in that article.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
I mean, he looks like a predator type.
Hold on, let's see if we can play this bad chicken.
Roll that bad chicken.
Can you hear it?
You got to get me off the screen.
Can you hear it at all?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can roll this bad chicken back.
Just might have to turn it up a little bit.
I think that's as loud as I can get it, guys.
Oh, there you go. That's loud.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and just look at the article. don't want to get into playing commercials for someone. So a former Metropolitan Police Department officer was convicted of SAing a child for over a decade, and he was sentenced to 25 consecutive life terms.
Just to let you know, Mike, do you guys
Yeah.
know? Do you guys know what the sentence is for having sex with a minor in the state of Nevada? The
I don't know,
penalty.
but I know the legal age is like 16. So it's like,
Well, yeah, because you can get married at 16 with parents' consent. But I'm talking like, say, a 14 or under. Okay.
oh, when she was ages 8 to 19. Holy cow.
What's that?
He started it when she was age 8.
Yeah. So basically, if you look at the penalty, that's why they hit him for 25 consecutive life terms.
Yeah.
It's because each time it happened, the max penalty is a life term in prison. So if you do it once, you could be convicted of a life sentence. So every act would hold a max of 25 consecutive life sentences or concurrent, depending on how they decide to sentence him. But in this case, they did it consecutively, so he'd be 393 years old by the time he got out. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's just being eligible for parole.
So the bottom line is that, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And you have armed road pirates going around, and they're taught to throw their weight around. They're taught to violate your rights. They're taught to lie. The U.S. Supreme Court has held that these highwaymen with guns have the right to lie to you and to try to investigate and get dirt on you to convict you of a crime. And their goal, when they pull you over, they're investigating you. When they talk to you, assume that you're being investigated. And their job is ultimately to raise revenue for the municipal corporation that they work for. That's how they stay in power. That's how they keep their job, and they get their nice shiny patrol cars and their nice pensions. And so you non-attorneys need to be very smart about how you deal with any kind of police interactions. And so that's why I recommend that you stay with Basel and I and learn more about the intricacies and underpinnings of the things that you have to do if you're going to go out there and face law enforcement and try to be auditors or cop watchers, because they do not want you filming them. And you can see why, because when you have officers who are assaulting women, dragging them out of bars, when they're meeting up at their buddy's house to be with the 8-year-old chick, that's going to be a problem. And so they don't like being filmed. And because they do have such a position of power and authority and respect amongst many in the public, they can get away literally with murder. And that's why it's so important to hold your public officials accountable and make sure that you're auditing them and cop watching them. It's one of the greatest duties of the American citizenry. People need to research the First Amendment and understand it's not just about religious freedom. It's not just about the right to speak. It's about being able to observe and hold your public officials accountable. Remember, we had a revolution. The king tried to seize our gunpowder from our muskets because we tried to rebel against all of his taxes because of all of his unjust wars, his endless wars. So that's what happens. The government has these endless wars. They raise taxes, force you to pay for it. You get upset. The government's response is to try and restrict your freedoms until ultimately there's a revolution. Of course, now because of soy and all the stuff they put in our food, they're probably hoping that a large portion of the youth won't do anything. But I think guys like BZWatchdog and I aren't going to let that happen, right? We're going to do something, right, BZ?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man. So does anybody have any questions in the sidebar for me or anything like that?
One video at a time if I have to, or one email at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, wait till you see the phone call that I made to a police department. I'm still editing that video. Wait for that one to drop. That one's going to be a doozy if you think the email thing was great.
Well, I think it's really exciting because, so the way I look at it is, we are all fighting for the Bill of Rights and for the country that our founding fathers wanted for us: freedom, liberty, to be left alone by all these administrators and these people trying to trying to control our children and brainwash them in the public school system. That's not their job. That's our job. So we don't like people like that. And when we band together, we can send a message that this is unacceptable. And we can all hold our public officials accountable, because it's not just the police, it's the public school system. It's these other government agencies. They've got this attitude problem. They go to these government run educational establishments and they come out acting like Chinese communist block captains. And they literally act like communist Chinese block captains. And that is, to a large degree, what our university system is producing. And we need to fight back against that. And we need to homeschool our kids. We need to do homesteading, grow our own food, capture our own water, and get back to Mother Nature and get less dependent upon these systems that bind us to ideas that we disagree with. And we need to create our own systems by banding together and helping each other. And guys, that's why I'm a lawyer. I bill a lot of money per hour. I work sometimes 14 or 15 hours a day, but I still am going to find time to meet with you and volunteer my time on here on this channel, because it's really important to me. I don't see anybody out there who's literally trying to teach you how to protect your rights. It's almost like it's every man for himself. So
feels like that.
Right. It really does. Yeah. It bums me out because, being a Marine and all, guys like Basel and I, we really took our oath to uphold the Constitution. We joined because we knew there was a high probability, because Marines, right, first to fight, like we wanted to go at it. And now they're just letting people in the country have no idea what it is to be an American. They have no pride in their country. They just know they're getting a free phone and a free hotel room. That's not good, guys. That's not the America that I know. Why are people getting a trophy for doing nothing? It's called the race to the bottom. Everyone gets a trophy. Unacceptable, unsat, un-American. Give me a bunch of ones if you think it's un-American.
Participation trophy right here.
Yeah, give me a bunch of ones if you think it's un-American to give people who don't even belong in our country money and free stuff and a free participation trophy. Give me a bunch of ones. Now, why are there no class action lawsuits against the police? Well, Nancy, I don't know that that's true. And as a lawyer, I would say objection, assumes facts not on evidence, lacks foundation, and a couple other.
Beyond scope.
And so, and I might even say that it's argumentative, because you could just be pulling my leg, because I know that cops do get sued, but I think they would be sued under RICO or a Monell claim under Title 42, Section 1983, for example.
And there are a lot. This is where you need the law and order theme right here to drop.
Right. There are a lot of bad police officers, and it's only going to get worse because our own government and politicians who put them out there and put them up to these things, like enforcing BS cigarette taxes so Eric Gardner could get strangled to death because he brought loose cigarettes across from New Jersey. So the cops were ordered to be heavy on the enforcement. So they choked the guy to death. And of course, the politicians blame the cops. Of course, they were wrong to do what they did, but they were being heavy-handed because that's how they earn their paycheck, from these scumbag politicians who pass all these crazy laws. And so we see that happening time and time again. I want people to be aware of that. With many laws comes great tyranny. I believe that is an old Greek philosopher who said that. The more the laws, the more the tyranny. And that's what I was attracted to about Chille's channel, Delete Laws, because we should elect people based on laws that they'll repeal. Give me a bunch of ones if you think we should vote for politicians based upon them repealing laws instead of passing them, and giving families and their children more freedom like we used to have, where we could decide our own fates and our own futures. Give me a bunch of ones.
Those days are over.
Well, I want ones anyways, because I want my son and daughter to grow up in a better place, not in this crazy thing where they go onto a college campus, and if they happen to be Jewish, they get kicked off. That's not the America that I know and love. That's ridiculous.
The First Amendment right. I'll be there to defend them. Let's fight tyranny and corruption together.
But let's stop letting people like Soros run our elections and get him out of our country. He doesn't even belong here. Look at what he's done. I mean, this is crazy. Funding all these nonprofits. They're bringing all these people across. We don't even know who they are. We don't even know who these people are that are in our country, like 22 million. I guarantee you there's going to be a massive terror attack, and the government's going to pass some law to protect us from ourselves that's going to restrict your and my freedom, when they're the ones that caused this problem with this wide open southern border. Don't you guys all agree? Give me a bunch of ones if you agree and you think I'm the greatest person who ever existed. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, guys, is really quick.
It's never quick with you.
because every time I'm on here, you're right. That's what all the women tell me, anyways, or at least they used to. All right.
That's
So-
not what she said.
Oh man, I don't like that. Okay, so if you look there, that is the Chille Decastro fundraiser link. So when I did this the other night for my very first time as a guest on Delete Laws, we raised like $1,300. Let's just take a look. So we're still. Let me take a look. Can you see that? Are we on the screen? Hold on.
There it is.
All right.
Hey,
cool.
there's that Sergeant Dunce cap.
There's Sergeant Dunscap. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this link and see if anybody's donated anymore. Okay, so guys, we're still at $13.25 for Chille. I know a lot of you guys have dug deep, but if anybody can throw a couple bucks in there, I'll stay on air a little bit longer. If not, I want to go. I'm writing an article right now about this new pilot bar program in California where they're going to basically eliminate the bar exam for the so-called underprivileged people. Apparently, certain minorities aren't intelligent enough to pass the bar exam, so they're going to lower the standards in order to make those people feel accepted. They get a trophy, I guess. So that's one of the common themes that you'll see with me is I don't like the concept of lowering standards. I think you should have always high standards in everything in life. Oh, thanks, Chevy. Oh, hell yeah. Another 50 from Chevy. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, looks like we're on for a little longer. I love it. But so
do we have to? No, I'm kidding. Keep them rolling. Roll that bean footage.
Well, so okay, so lowering standards is a real problem, guys, and I think that if we can't get higher standards from the systems that are in place, that I think that we need to create our own systems. That means, for example, if you have an organic farm, I want to buy from you. If you have a process service business and I'm a lawyer, I want to do business with you. If you're part of my group, and I'm not saying we're religious, we're not Freemasons, we're not gang members. What we are is we are concerned patriots who love our country. Less than 3% of the populace in this country participated in the actual fighting in the American Revolution. And that just goes to prove that a very small minority can make great change. And they were able to create the greatest republic that the world has ever seen. And sure, it's got a lot of problems. And there are systems that we have in place right now that have been corrupted and filled with leviathanic thinkers who want this powerful central government. But we can take back those systems by joining together and creating our own systems the way that the Black people did during Martin Luther King. Remember, they would just en masse stop doing business with people who went against their belief systems. And we can do the same thing, guys. There's a lot of us, despite the fact that social media and BlackRock and these other companies are trying to create an appearance that we're just a fringe minority because they silence us, right? If you silence your opposition, right, of course that you don't have an opposition, so everybody must agree. But I think that the free thinkers among us, who are at least the people on my channel, the 78 that are in here now, they recognize that this is just a big scam, that they're being manipulated. This is a great corporate manipulation. The mainstream news is manipulation. We saw with the release of the Twitter files that government agencies were working hand in hand with these revolving door employment, going back and forth from big tech to your job at the FBI, your cushy government job with your pension, that was going on. And that's why people were being silenced. Anybody who spoke bad about the injections was silenced. Their accounts were banned. Anybody who talked about the Hunter Biden laptop had their account banned and wiped out. You weren't even allowed to talk about it. That's what these people want for you. And we need to start standing up and fighting together so that doesn't happen any more than it already is. We need to slow it down, like Basel said. Basil's saying it's too late. Basil, why are you saying it's too late, man? You're bumming me out.
Oh, I mean, we allowed it to get this far, and now we've got people that are fighting, but it's almost like a majority of the population doesn't understand what's going on. Everybody is just a bootlicking copsucker, or just everybody thinks that just because you want law and order that the police have absolute rules, say, and directives over you. And that's the problem. You should be able to question and challenge authority because people abuse authority all the time. If you don't feel it's right or it ain't right, you should challenge it. You should speak up. That's why the First Amendment was created, to redress your grievances to your government and to speak out against tyranny and prosecution. or
Yeah.
sorry, I
Yeah.
said prosecution. I meant, you know what I meant. I meant oppression.
I know.
But
Yeah.
I say prosecute. Oh, you know what? I'm almost done with what we were talking about because you brought on the little fraudulent reaper. Yeah. Let me tell you about this one. And with
All right, I'm
that
going to
being
let you make
said,
the intros. I'm going to let you
yeah,
make the.
no,
I'm going to
no, do
remove
the intro.
myself. I'm going to remove myself from the stage and let you do the.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. This chick, I was told by an auditor to check her out because she was going to have this auditor come on and do a kind of like a question and answer kind of, not really a debate. At least that's what she said. The way she's bashed Chille, if you watched her most recent video in the last day or two, was completely bashing Chille and making fun of him about, because Chille made a statement about how he feels like he's got Stockholm syndrome. She turned it around and went ahead and broke down every line, every word of the definition, and basically called Chille out and said he don't know what he's talking about. This woman here, she's just a hater. She's fairly new. She's just trying to make a name for herself right now. And I guess this woman can't really find anybody else to pick on. But it's people like this that end up were bullied and then become bullies, or at least hide in their mom or dad's basement and type really bad things about people out here trying to fight for freedom. So I advised my friend this auditor not to go on there because I think she has other ulterior motives on this one. I think if you were able to get an auditor on there, you could mute them, capture their video, and I'm pretty sure you can manipulate whatever they said or get them so heated that they either disappear from it or say something that you can use against them. So this chick, she's kind of reminding me more of towards the frauded wrangler type because she doesn't have all her facts there. She's just basically going off of a summary of what she thinks and not facts like somebody we know like Frauditor Troll who actually makes honest statements. He may not agree with your opinion, but he goes by the facts. If you notice, he even went after Frauded Wrangler. And I think this Frauded Reaper or Frauditor Reaper, I think she's going to be right or just as bad, like a female version of Michael Kaiser.
Okay, and then just real quick, just for the audience, we have Dawood has posted. Did you hear about a deputy in Riverside who was caught with 100 pounds of fentanyl, and another one who was caught extorting sex acts from female inmates? Riverside County is very corrupt. So here's what you guys need to understand, and I've been telling you this.
Let me stop you there. Oh, wait, wasn't that Operation Riverside Accountability?
Operation Accountability wasn't, I think it was Riverside, right?
Riverside Accountability they locked up. So I think he was kind of onto things, wasn't he?
Well, that was what I was going to get at. So we have these auditors out in Riverside who are just holding these cops to account, man, and the local government, this corrupt local government. And we see that happening everywhere from the top down, like a lot of people are saying that, our federal government, congressmen and senators, and even like Arizona are working with these drug cartels, like with gold and silver to keep these borders open. Because the cartels are making billions, and it makes sense, right? The only people making money are the drug cartels, these big corporations, and these
cops.
Politicians and the cops. Well, what it is, look, the cops that's their private security. They see the corruption with the politicians and the mayor. They know what's going on. They see it with their own eyes. So this is a symptom of a bigger disease, which is corruption everywhere. Because people don't believe in a creator. They don't believe in morality anymore. It's anything goes, whatever you can get away with. There's no standards, guys. There's no freaking standards.
That's no, there's standards. It's just double standards for the rest of us out here.
Well, you know what I mean when I say standards, BZ,
no,
like a military guy. A military guy, when he says there's no standards, that means we have a tradition of standards, and our country has we would like to think our country has a tradition of standards. Many of us have been let down, like me, for example, when I discovered the Gulf of Tonkin was a lie and that my father died from Agent Orange, from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma as a result of that war, being a two-tour Marine, and now knowing that the whole purpose and point of us going to war, the Gulf of Tonkin, was a lie. And then we find out about WMDs being a lie. So naturally, a lot of people are going to be upset. They find out the FBI and the NSA continually gets caught by Congress. spying on their American citizens illegally. So yeah, naturally people are going to be upset. Of course, give me a bunch of ones if that upsets you, that they're trying to circumvent the warrant requirements to illegally spy on people who shop at Dick's Sporting Goods and try to paint them as if they're violent extremists because they might want to own a firearm. Tell me if you think that that's acceptable.
Oh, I don't shop there. I go to Bass Pro Shop. Oh, but wait, ain't that on the list too? God dang it.
Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah.
If you purchase books from a Christian bookstore, you too are a potential domestic violent extremist. I mean, this sounds something that came directly from the ADL or the Southern Poverty Law Center, directly from some newly graduated Harvard student who is burning American flags, who now runs some department, some touchy-feely department over at the FBI. And this is what we're facing, guys. Look at the college campuses, what's going on. They're burning American flags, waving Hamas flags, saying, we hate white people. Listen to what they're saying. Take this very seriously. This is your next generation of judges and politicians. These people that go to Harvard, Columbia, this is your next generation of elected representatives. You better be very careful about the next steps that you take, guys, or this country is done. It's toast. Now, right, that's right, Jim. Thanks. It's so cool to have a couple old timers who remember when America really was like, we were proud of our country, man. And BZ, you know what I'm talking. You don't join the Marine Corps unless you're super proud to be an American. You know, it's a big freaking deal, man.
You know, and that's a funny thing. I don't know if you can see this. Hang on a second. Can you guys all see that? I don't know.
Hold on. Let me open you up, buddy.
Let's see that. You know, everybody wants to give me shit. Say, oh, was he really a Marine? Can anybody verify it? Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't get one of those tattooed on unless you've actually earned it.
Lefty double time.
And I'll tell you right now,
all the time.
That tattoo's probably older than about a third of the people in this chat room.
All right, so BZ, if I'm free to go, I'm gonna play this bad chicken, okay?
Oh, she's much more than a bad chicken. She's more like a frauditor whore reaper.
All right, now listen, this video is like 29 minutes, brother, and I know you watched the whole thing, so I'm going to count on you to tell me to stop and go and fast forward, all right?
Bro, I've watched the whole thing, but it's not like I went back and scrutinized every second of it yet.
Well, she does have kind of a pretty face. I was just looking for some body shots, but we'll go ahead and play it and see what happens.
Shot.
So I actually had a lot of fun with this video. It is the most recent jailhouse call from Chille. And not only has he had the time to create a whole new board game, read a philosophical book, but he's now claiming that he's suffering from Stockholm Syndrome in jail. But
Stop it right there, Mike.
It is Chille.
Yes, sir.
So okay,
yeah,
go ahead and put me back on the screen here. Put you back on the screen too.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, so that way I can see your facial reaction. So my question is this. She's over here, okay, look, I get it. He's been in jail. He's had time to read a philosophical book and make a board game. Look, and maybe he already had these ideas and thoughts going in about the board game because I know he's talked about it before. Okay? But this chick over here is going, oh, now he claims he got Stockholm. Well, let me ask you this, Reaper. Have you been put in torture cuffs? Will you let me put them on you? Will you let me take down to the dungeon? Will you go ahead and actually do however amount of time that Chille's already done with no sleep deprivation, food deprivation, losing 30 pounds of muscle, and still be around crazy people and not still lose your insanity?
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. You don't know what Stockholm Syndrome is from reading it from a book until you actually experience it. Well, and guess what? Mike dropped right there.
I think you're right, man. And I think that people like that, with that sort of a personality, it just reminds me of like a Mao follower. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Mao Zedong, the Chinese guy, the leader of China.
Damn, this chat's blowing up, man.
Is it? So people I
can't even read these comments, man. They're going by so damn fast.
So people like her remind me. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know who Mao Zedong was, but he was this communist Chinese leader who massacred billions of his own people instituted block captains and, had children turn in their parents if they spoke out against the state. And basically whatever the government says, the government can do no wrong, kind of like what the progressives are trying to do in California by censoring people and doctors and not letting doctors say things bad about their political campaign donors from big pharma. Same concept, a great, powerful Leviathan. You have no rights. You can only say good things about the government, and you can only be happy and cheerful. And if you're not, we're going to take you out or put you in a labor camp. And that's kind of, so people like this seem to accept that is acceptable. So when you put someone who's a nonviolent offender in a dungeon, because it is a dungeon, they've got these mentally ill, insane people, as well as violent people who will just kill you at the drop of a hat, in there with nonviolent offenders like Chille. They don't have any form of segregation. And the jailers become absolutely cynical, where they just treat you like you're a piece of trash. And so it takes away the humanity of the jailers too over time. And they just become cynical, and they just want their paycheck, and they just give up. Look, there's a high suicide rate among cops, man. That's for a reason, because it's hard to treat your fellow man. Like SS concentration camp guards, World War II. One of the reasonings behind gassing these prisoners was because the SS guards and the SSVT were getting sick to their stomach and committing suicide and going crazy, because you can't just kill people like that. God didn't make you to kill people, guys. It's not normal. You have a natural internal desire to protect your fellow human beings. God made us that way. So anyways, I don't want to get too much off on a tangent. Let's keep playing this.
Hey, Mike, just to let you know, I'm getting
We all know.
I'm getting accused of timing people out, but there's 2 people I timed out for excessive negative spamming. So chat was going by so damn fast I couldn't read it. So,
well, so Dr. Donna Walter, I mean, I trust you to use your better judgment.
Discretion,
obviously.
Officer discretion. Oh wait, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a total psychopath, but I don't want people in who are like insulting people or making fun of them, because we're not here to do that. We're here to light humor is okay, guys, but let's stay serious here. We've got somebody over here, this frauditor reaper, jumping on the bandwagon. So remember, this guy's saying, I feel like I'm suffering from Stockholm syndrome. She has not identified herself as a medical practitioner, so we don't know what her qualifications are. I do applaud her for showing her face, because if that is her, because I would say 99% of these people are too coward to suffer from cowardice. They won't show their face.
No, that's why we know somebody that's pretending to be Chille while Chille's in prison. So, I mean, I'm sorry, county lockup. I know that I'll get hit for that later. But
the dungeon.
That Chille doesn't even know what Stockholm syndrome means, just like he doesn't understand any case law. But it's really interesting how he's.
So, I'll be honest with you guys. A lot of the things that these people say could be construed as defamatory. I mean, she's saying that he doesn't understand case law. He does understand case law. He may be wrong. Well. He may be wrong about some cases, which is normal for someone who's not a trained lawyer. But I would say that he's better than most lawyers that I know with respect to being able to take a case and dissect it. Sometimes he's wrong, just as I've been wrong, even with almost over 2 decades now of experience as a paralegal, and then as a lawyer, as a law clerk. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, and I still make mistakes. But to just blatantly say he doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't know about Stockholm syndrome, that's just really it's an insult. And she really just doesn't know. She lacks the knowledge to be able to make most of these statements. Let's go.
Now suffering from Stockholm syndrome. Anyways, enjoy the video.
Yeah. Hello, Team VLV. This is Chille Decastro. Today is April 25th, 2024. I am an innocent man incarcerated at Clark County Detention Center. I am in the dungeon. The video of my wrongful arrest, the video of my wrongful persecution has been seen by millions of people. I am innocent and I am in jail. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I appreciate it. I've been in here now for almost 6 weeks. It's been a very difficult journey for me. I'm a people person. I love people. I'm an empath. I care about people.
Shut your piggish mouth. And don't approach me. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth and shut your mouth. I'm your boss. You understand that? Shut your mouth.
All right, so you got the idea. I mean, do you want me to fast forward this? Basically, this is just some new person online jumping on the Attack Chille bandwagon.
I was
By the
thinking,
way,
I was thinking about the Chille train.
Right.
Hey,
But
I'm
by
gonna
the way,
the Chille train because it ain't the Express.
But by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a whole segment of so-called frauditors that their existence is based upon Chille existing, just like CNN. Like
Yep.
CNN's whole existence was based upon attacking Donald Trump. It became very popular. Then when he was out of office, they lost viewership. That's what's happening right now with these frauditors because
like
they're
this.
totally replying.
Here's
Yeah, right.
Chille. Here's Chille.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Here's the birth of the frauditor because we don't like him.
Yeah.
Now, Chille goes away. Oh, wait. We got no content. Who do we?
Yeah.
Go
after the lawyer. Go after Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, go after Michael Eli and his.
Another coming after me.
Hey, so check this out. Also, Fraudit Troll just recently went after Fraudit Wrangler because of the lies that Fraudit Wrangler told and the defamation that he puts out. He doesn't always put out truth. For some of it may be factual, but it's kind of like facts, exaggerating, and just bold out lie. So he's somewhere in the middle there, of exaggerating and telling lies. Anyways, the fact that they got one of their own going after them, it's almost like one of ours going after us.
Well, that happens all the time. Like it's like auditors hate each other more than I think the frauditors hate the auditors.
No. That's because everybody wants to be an alpha and everybody's got to be popular. It's a popularity contest. We all know that.
Okay.
600,000 subscribers, 700,000 subscribers. It's just a pop. If they would just realize that we're all watching both their channels.
Yeah.
They would realize that we're watching both materials and there's no competition. We like them both.
Yeah, like for example, I watch Long Island audits, and I know apparently there's, I know apparently there's some kind of a beef between.
Hell, if you want to get one step further about this big beef, I watch Accountability for All. Josh, I find Josh very funny. He might be an asshole, but I can relate. That's me.
Well, I see a lot of positive things that Long Island is doing with respect to holding public officials accountable, not just cops, but like high-level public officials. And I see him making a lot of good legal arguments, a lot of valid arguments, and being a real out there fighting for the public interest and holding public officials accountable. And that's why I'm trying to help you guys. I want to teach you guys how not to get arrested and how to stand for your rights, how to be able to sue on your own if you have to sue, how to draft a complaint, how to do proper case law research so you're not citing bad law or law that doesn't apply to your jurisdiction or your issue. And so what Basel wants me to do is create like a subscription only channel where I teach people stuff like that. And I'm going to let you guys decide if you want me to do that. To me, I never joined anyone's subscription channel. I thought, why would I do that? So I kind of feel like, why would I want to charge somebody to come on my channel? But I guess he's got some valid points, because if I'm going to take the time to teach people, I guess if they're paying for it, they're serious about it, right? So they'll actually show up and it will be worth my while. And plus my wife will not give me such a hard time about spending more than an hour on these things.
Mike, I've got a free country with a comment that says file complaints to Nevada State's bar on this judge. As we know, in Nevada, a judge has their bar suspended while they're in office. And the only thing you can do is do a complaint to the Judicial Conduct Board, pretty much, right?
Well, my understanding is that while you're sitting actively on the bench, unless you're a commissioner, I believe that your bar card is, I don't know if it's suspended. I think it's inactive.
Inactive.
Yeah, because I don't believe you're allowed. It's like a conflict of interest. If you're not supposed to hold a title of nobility too, but I don't know if that's just federal. So it's jurisdictionally, it's going to be different depending on the state. I think. Put it in the comments if somebody knows. By the way, guys, I don't know everything, and I'm not going to come on here and say, oh, it's bright line, I know everything. So if I don't know the answer, I'm just going to level with you and go, I'm not sure. But based upon what I do know, in some cases, absolutely, for sure, judges are not supposed to be active members of the bar while they hold office. Put it in the comments if you know that to be true everywhere or not, or what you do know, because I want to share this information with people who watch the channel. It's a great question. Let me see here. And BZ, I mean, you know, feel free, brother, to. Oh my gosh, we got another one.
Ding, 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 ding.
And Chevy, you are the man. The Eline wife.
Tell her she can go shopping for like I don't know, whatever would normally be in a dollar store in California. It's 10 times.
Well, we're gonna. Okay, so my son is. Got to look around and make sure he's not here because he gets upset at me. So my son, I think next Tuesday is up for his yellow belt exam for judo. He's been consistently been a judoka now, like his dad, carrying on the tradition, and he's been a judoka now for about a year, I think about a solid year. And so that $30 is just about $20. A couple more bucks, and I'll be able to get a yellow belt because you have to buy the belt. But that is going to
be really. Are you serious?
Yeah, you got to buy the belt. Yeah.
With all that's bullshit. With all that money, he earned that belt. He gets that belt. He doesn't have to pay. It's like buying a participation trophy.
No. Listen, brother. Our sensei is an Olympian. He teaches the Olympic team. One of those kind of guys. He doesn't charge. So you know, our sensei does not charge, brother. And so this is a sacred art that he's teaching our son.
So
and
he's teaching it for free.
Discipline.
No money.
What's that?
So he's
won't charge us. No, and a lot of judoka, a lot of senseis are that way because see, judo is a spiritual art. It is, it's different than like BJJ. There's a lot of tradition.
Well, let me ask you this: do you have to buy the brand name through the Judicial place, or can you buy a yellow belt anywhere? Because I do wholesale them on my website. And by the way, we got another $20.
Oh, no kidding! Look at that. That's awesome. Thanks, Chevy. We got another one. I got. MMA belt. Well, so Gunnar is not doing MMA right now. We just got him doing judo because I think judo is the best base. But ultimately, I will have him focus on some intensive newaza with some BJJ guys that are buddies of mine. But for tradition, for discipline, I'm telling you guys, for boys, judo's the way to go. The tradition, the honor, always the bowing, very, very. You always honor the higher belts. It's a really great. Tradition
fight to win, man. I don't care if I got to fight dirty. That's what they taught me in the Marine Corps.
Right. And then, so once you learn the judo base, then you get into doing some jujitsu and then of course, Muay Thai. And that's another art that I also took. And I think that Muay Thai, the striking from Muay Thai, once you have the basics, you know, either judo or wrestling, but I just choose judo because I think in a street fight, you got more chances to grab on clothing like it's a gi, right? And so you already have that built into your throwing in your mind. Oh, look at this. Look at this. April Rain. Thanks, April. Look at this. This is amazing. Oh, my God. You guys are so awesome.
April Rain. April Rain.
You guys are super nice. I really appreciate this.
Hey, you know Purple Rain, Mike? You got April Rain.
Right. Purple Rain. April Rain. Hey, why don't we have Ryan make an
AI? I was just thinking the same thing.
For April. So, guys, seriously, I am exploring the idea of creating like a subscriber only channel where like maybe I teach, you know, like first year law course, you know, for free or well, for the subscription, like where I'll teach you like contracts, torts and criminal law. You'll have to sign a release that you know that I'm not giving you legal advice, that this is just what they would teach you in a law school course.
Well, technically, you couldn't give me legal advice unless I gave you $1 anyways. Right?
That's not true. No, that's not true. You can, yeah, it can be gratuitous if you rely on a lawyer's advice, and it's objectively reasonable for you to rely on it. So I always want to make sure, not that I'm worried about getting in trouble, but that I'm worried about you, that I don't want you to make a mistake because I've seen my friends get arrested.
I'm a little upset at April.
Why?
Why don't you go a penny cheaper than everybody?
Oh my gosh, James Forbes, thanks, dude. I think, I don't know, because she's probably in sales and $19.99 is more palatable.
I would have thought. Right? She's commenting there.
Woohoo! Thanks, April. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing to support the channel. And obviously, I love doing this, guys. But I can be honest with you, I have a day job, and the time that I'm doing this right now, I normally would be tutoring my daughter, or I would be doing some judo moves with my son, stuff like that. So that but at the same token, this is good for me, and my family sees that, because you learn by teaching. So by me going over this stuff, it's helping me become a better teacher, and I'm learning at the same time. So this is good for all of us, because it's going to help me be a better provider with respect to the information that I'm able to get to you guys. Thanks again, James. You're awesome, brother. And I love that motorcycle, by the way. That's sick. Now, yeah, that's right. All right. So guys, what do you think? Any other questions you have for me? It looks like we're starting to peter out. It's about an hour and 10 minutes.
No, we've actually gone up.
You think? Okay. All right. Well,
we were at 41 to 52. We're at 76 right now.
All right. Well, here's what I'll do. I'm just going to do the breakdown for my plan for tomorrow. My plan for tomorrow is to go and visit Chille. If I can get my camera fixed on my phone, I'm gonna put it like in my car, so you can see me driving, and I'll like live stream me going to the jail, and I'll show you me pulling in and where I park and stuff, so you kind of have some fun with it. That's my plan. I don't know if I can do it. So my camera broke on my iPhone, so I'm trying to figure out a way to plug in another camera and make it work like that. And let me see what else. So the plan is just to, because I'm not going to be able to see him during the week next week. I'm just too buried. So the plan is just to get the rundown from him as to how he wants me to move forward on the jail segregation project. So the goal is, guys, is we want to segregate jails and prisons based upon mental illness, violent propensities, and what was the other one? Or just normal people who are just nonviolent offenders, right? Crazy people, violent and nonviolent. Separate all those people.
Hey, Mike, I'm getting a request by Mr. Jim Do Hits. He says, please play BZWatchdog videos. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's do that. Like maybe tomorrow.
Have we even brought any of my videos up? I don't even think we have we?
We can. Like tomorrow, what we can do is we can do an attorney reaction video, an attorney reaction on one of your videos, and we can narrate it together after we talk about visit from the dungeon. So the first part can be visit from the dungeon, and the next part can be a video, or I can just do a visit from the dungeon tomorrow, and then on Monday, which is usually a better day for people being around, we can do a BZWatchdog video break. I think that's a great idea. And guys, I really want you to support his channel, because the help that he's been giving all of us has been invaluable. And so he needs.
And I just hit over 1,000 subscribers, by the way, last night.
He needs watch hours. And so what I want you guys to do, please, again, go to BZWatchdog, put it in the sidebar, somebody, his channel.
I'll put it in there.
Go to BZWatchdog and click on one of his videos, right? Open it up on your phone, open it up on your laptop, and let that sucker play. Like when you're sitting down, having breakfast, having lunch, listen to his video when you're in your car. Just try to get him his watch hours up so we can get him monetized. Let's help him out, guys.
Even if you guys just watch my shorts, that gives me 1 minute of watch time for every person that watches. So
do it. I mean, just to help out BZ. I really want to help him. I think when we started doing this, he had a lot less subscribers, a lot less watch hours. So I think we're all working together as a team to help him get up there in the auditor community and make a name for himself.
Mike, Gloria wants to know if we're having a fundraiser tomorrow for Chille on Delete Laws.
Okay, so I can do that. I can do a fundraiser tomorrow. I just don't know. I don't want to dilute the power of the fundraiser, because Sundays tend to be pretty weak. So Basel, you and I will, after the show, let's do a powwow and talk about it. I can definitely go on Delete Laws and do a fundraiser, but I generally like to build up a little bit of a, like, hey, we're going to have a live show in 2 days. Here's the thumbnail. Take a look. Make sure to tell your friends. When I just go live, I feel like I'm missing out on people who would want to come that don't know about it. So because typically, so when I notice them, there's a thing that says reminder you guys can click on. So a lot of people click that and it reminds them and it starts playing the video for them. So it's always smart to notice your videos in advance if they're going to be live.
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna drop Dodd Asha. He's been trying to get with you for a while about that concealed carry and filing and all that by himself.
Right.
So he's the one that's interested in the law program. I'm actually going to put his channel up because he says he only has 140 subscribers.
Okay.
I just got done subscribing, so.
All right. Well, this is really cool. We got a lot of people in here today.
68 right now.
I mean, look, I know I don't get like 400 people or whatever like Chille. I mean, I have, but I'm not. You guys got to understand something. I'm looking for quality, not necessarily quantity. If it is quantity, I want all of you to be like soldiers, like well trained. I want you to understand basic things, and that's another reason why it may be a smart move for me to set up like a private subscriber channel where we just get like the super elite ones who want to learn, because I can definitely share a lot of cool things with you that I wouldn't want to talk about publicly, which would be nice. Okay, so tomorrow, if I go live, Nancy, it probably won't be till much later in the day because.
Hey,
go ahead. Can't hear you, buddy. We lost you.
Sorry, guys. Had a Amber Alert come through.
Now, with respect to Dick Heller, probably with Chille out of commission, there's not a whole lot going on with Dick. Dick is he's older. He's not an internet guy, and so I know that he relies on Chille for stuff like that. But Dick is a friend of mine. I've known him for years. I think since at least 2016. And actually, no, since 2006, I think. And he is a Heller versus District of Columbia. So the first case was DC v. Heller, and then the other case, and then it goes back and forth from Heller v. DC. But basically, that is the seminal case on the Second Amendment where we finally got some judges to admit what we already knew, which is the right to keep and bear arms is a fundamental, unalienable right. Bearable arms, handheld arms, you have a right to do that. And yes, they are subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. And that's what the term dangerous and unusual means, not what some progressive judge is trying to make it mean. Dangerous and unusual simply means that you should not be displaying weapons in a dangerous and unusual fashion. For example, you wouldn't drag a cannon behind your donkey through a shopping mall. That would be considered a dangerous and unusual and therefore you wouldn't do that now, but it would be perfectly okay to carry a concealed firearm or even open carry in other situations. So it just depends on the cultures and the practices in that area based upon the historic precedents. So anyways, BZ, you got anything to say? I'm just looking at questions here.
I did see something up here. Let me go back to it real quick. Hang on. It is right. Oh, question. Can you list the ways fraudulent wrangler may access sealed court records, and can he be arrested for that? Is it criminal? Well, that was said by our friend Carolina here in Fort Worth.
Well, okay, if somebody was able to access sealed court records, that would mean that they're probably a government employee or somebody who works for a government employee or is friends with a government employee.
So, question:
illegally obtained records.
Let me stop you right there. So, let me ask you this:
Yeah,
would you be able to do a public records request to find out who accessed that?
Well, if they illegally got their hands on records, there would be no record of that. But if they were able to legally obtain records, for example, records that were publicly available prior to a record being sealed, I think that wouldn't be an issue. If there were records of court printouts or court website printouts to prove that there was a case before the record was sealed, probably not a problem. If there's like remnants or residual data left out there on the World Wide Web, that would be probably something you could get unless you were a party who signed an agreement not to display or show it. But, everything's going to be on a case-by-case basis. So I would have to know more of the facts.
We're talking. I know kind of who I think she's talking about in a certain situation. It would be like an arrest record that was sealed, like a list of just pretty much your whole criminal history was just sealed from many years ago.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. Yeah, you can get it sealed. You can get a finding of factual innocence in some jurisdictions and have it all destroyed. But it's all going to be based on a case-by-case basis. Now, if somebody was able to data mine and illegally access that data, it'd be hard to find out who did that. But if you can find the person who has the data, you could try to reverse engineer what happened for sure. And if there is something nefarious or pernicious afoot, you certainly could try and push for a criminal charge to be filed, or even civilly sue that person under invasion of right of privacy and maybe some other tort law violations. But I would have to look at the file and review it, and then I would do like a workup, right? Like, so what I do, guys, when I get my file is I look at all the reports, I talk to the potential new client, and then I take all that information and I do case law research, and I try to find cases that are on point, that are similar in my jurisdiction. I'm not looking for DPUBs. I'm not looking for cases for federal. If I'm in state court, I'm looking for state cases, right? I'm not looking for out-of-state cases. I'm looking for the city where, I'm looking for an appellate district that's in my city. I want to find the closest thing that I can. So I can teach you guys that. I'd like to teach you guys that, because I think there's a lot of you guys who are super smart. Like, I think Chille could be a great lawyer, but he's got to, he's got a lot to learn, but I think he's got what it takes. All right, let's see here.
He needs to pull back the reins a little bit and stop being a bull.
Well, I think that in time, with age and with just being around people who are evenly killed, I think that'll happen. I think he's probably figuring that out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love seeing the man go off on cops. He's funny, very quick-witted. I love it. But where has that gotten all of us at this moment in time? Just need to scale it back. I kind of did a little parody to Kenny Rogers' song this today, talking about the first aid community. It's like, the song The Gambler, you got to know when to hold them.
Yeah.
As an accountable. You got to know when to film them. You got to know when to walk away.
That's
because
great.
You've been set free, or you got to know when to drive away.
That's sick. That is sick.
So as long as you fit that little category, you may never get arrested for filming. And then if they tell you can't film and they try to run you off, you could always go ahead and file a 1983 and because you've got it on camera. That's called prior restraint. That's the easiest way to get them without hitting an obstruction charge. Isn't that, Mike? I mean, can't you fight that? Instead of taking an obstruction charge and going forward, wouldn't that be considered prior restraint, making me move further back to where I can't see or hear?
Look, again, everything's going to be based on a case-by-case basis. So, for example, in Chille's first case that we talked about, we have the court relying on this 21-foot arbitrary and capricious rule about officer safety, and that Chille's within the so-called danger zone. And then we see the cop closing the distance and bringing himself into the danger zone. And so it's gonna there. That's the problem, guys. There's so many variables, and that's why I'm trying to teach you guys, like, do it the right way. Don't get yourself in a position where they can put their hands on you. There's other ways to handle this where you can still hold the public servant accountable. And we're going to get into that in some other episodes. We're going to talk, Basel and I are going to talk about some stuff in a couple of weeks, hopefully, where we're going to get into more of that, because I think that we're onto something. I think that every time they do something to restrict our freedoms, that the special operations guys are going to come along, and we're going to come up with ways to get around that and hold them accountable even more. And we're always going to keep them on their toes to the point where it doesn't pay to violate people's rights. It doesn't pay to throw down a 38 caliber in that black dude's car that you want to get an arrest on. It doesn't pay to drop a little bit of marijuana in the cup holder of that guy's car that you want to get an arrest on. We want to make sure that doesn't happen, right? That's the whole point of this, guys. You've got family, you've got friends. I love my country and I love rule of law, but I know that these people right now, a lot of the people who are in power, are not good people, and we need to hold them accountable. Go ahead, BZ.
Hey, so I just want to say, I play chess. Actually, Brick Audit said it right as I was saying it. I play chess. I don't play checkers. I know Chille's referred to that before, but when you go head to head like he does with these cops, He's playing checkers. Problem is they have more checkers on the board. You can't always bump the bull. That's why instead of going a head-on audit, I'm doing 4 different styles of audits that we really haven't seen out there to kind of just change the ways that we catch these guys slip it up even more without getting into an altercation to where it may land us in jail, down to the dungeon and in torture cuffs. So, because, my whole philosophy is if you watch them from abroad, you haven't been told to stand back. You haven't been given any directive. Hell, they don't even probably know you're even there. And as they get more, I guess you could say, actionable with what they're doing and focused, that'll allow you to sneak in and get closer without them even knowing that you're there. And then eventually when they're doing something wrong and they go to look up and look around to see if anybody sees it, it's like that really shit deer in the headlights, they caught me on camera look. And, at that point, you pretty much have the dirt. And what are they going to do? Extend the stop to try to beat you down because of your film footage? No, they're probably just going to yell at you to stay back. And at that point, you've got your opportunity to pull that ripcord and escape with the footage, with the dirt, and with your freedom.
Well, I like that. I like that idea. I like the idea of you guys not having to get arrested, because that's going to cost you a ton of money, guys, and time. And that's what they're counting on. These cops just love making arrests because they know that's going to put you out of the game. So why would you do that? Why would you let them do that? Go ahead.
I sure hope that speech flowed, because I won't be able to repeat that. I had a medi-sesh, so I'm free thinking right now. I'm free thinking. All
right. Well, guys, I think we're getting ready to wrap it up here. I'm getting kind of tired now. We're down to about 67 in the chat. But listen,
Tell
guys.
her wife she made some money. We can keep going.
But listen, man, I'm getting tired too, guys. But listen, guys, I do plan on seeing Chille tomorrow, so I'll do my best to give you updates from the dungeon. I think we're probably not gonna have a really serious hangout until Monday. But Basel and I, it's going to be probably later in the evening, guys, like probably after 5 o'clock Pacific. It's going to be a later show time. I feel bad because I've been trying to do them to try to get the East Coast people before they go to bed, because it's like a 3-hour difference, right? But if I do it at 5, it's still somewhat, 8 o'clock-ish your time at night. I mean, we can still kind of do it. I'm doing my best though. So just so you know the reasoning behind why I've been doing them at 3 and 4 West Coast Pacific is to get the East Coast guys. Go ahead, buddy.
Real quick. Hey, Vince P. 1974. Since you've got a lot of legal questions that you're throwing out there and we don't have much time, go ahead and put those in an email and send those to me. Maybe I can get Mike to do a, maybe like a 20 or 30 minute, kind of thought and opinion on what your questions are. And because he's got a lot of questions, Mike. I've just been going through, and now he's like, why can't you? Well, first off, we don't have that much time. I don't want to keep going to that because I know Mike will just keep going about this legal stuff and put everybody to sleep.
That's probably true. We'll figure it out, guys. And again, this might be one of those things where I do the subscriber channel where I can. So here's another thing. I don't really like talking publicly about people's cases where potentially the things they say would be used against them. So I think we need to be very, very careful when you do present fact patterns to me in these chats. You should always present them as a hypothetical, like assuming this happened with this person, this fictitious person, what would the outcome be? That way we because if you're going through some custody dispute with your wife, or you have a restraining order case or something like that, the things you say on social media definitely are going to harm you. And I certainly wouldn't want to be the person in the middle of that as a lawyer, potentially causing harm to you. My job is to protect you. That's actually, why
I've got a good example of that, Mike. There's a lady here about a month and a half ago going through a nasty custody battle.
Yeah.
And divorce with the lawyers and stuff. And I guess she thought the law firm and the judge were in and on each other. Now we've seen kind of some facts of that happening.
Yeah.
That law firm and that judge was in cahoots with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking into that. On that note, basically she secretly filmed during court proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went home and posted them on Facebook, where
Oh,
her
that's bad.
ex-husband saw it and turned it into the attorneys, and then of course she got into a lot of trouble. So it may have cost her the case because of it.
You never know. You certainly are going to lose credibility with the judge when you start doing those shenanigans, guys. Look, don't do crazy stuff, and you won't get treated like a crazy person. Well, they're still going to treat you like you're crazy, but you'll be people like you and I won't think you're a crazy person, right? Like people like Basel and I won't think that you're crazy. You need credibility with somebody, for crying out loud.
Absolutely. I mean, shit. Yeah. I think everybody thinks I'm crazy. Between conspiracies and governments listening to all of our devices, they just don't even know.
Wild stuff, man. So,
I mean, people just don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. Education is everything. I don't know where we went wrong with our education system.
So hold on a minute. Vince is pointing out, and this is a thin white line, Vince. The title of the GoFundMe has mistakes that Good Springs is still active, it's closed, and that it is criminal. It was a civil action. So he is saying that...
Yeah, it was a citation for a U-turn to where unauthorized vehicles are able to turn.
Oh, so the guy who did this fundraiser put it as Good Springs when this is not Good Springs. This is the one that was at the gas station.
No, this is the Good Springs one is going to be the one in Good Springs. It's when he was going home on Thanksgiving, and these guys, the motorcycle cops were writing tickets.
Yeah, this one.
No. That one. Yeah, that's not Good Springs. That's supposed to be City of Las Vegas. So I think somebody put it.
So whoever did this GoFundMe put the wrong name. So I'm going to call the administrator for that website and tell them to fix that. Because thanks, Vince. I mean, thanks, Vince. Yeah. So this is the one that was in, this was the crime tape.
That was in the municipal jurisdiction of Las Vegas, City of.
Yeah. So this guy, whoever did this GoFundMe, put it the wrong one. I saw that other one, that Good Springs one. This is
the Good Springs one was the one on the highway south of Las Vegas between.
So this is just somebody. So guys, just so you know, an administrator, did this, and it looks like they put the wrong name. We'll get that fixed. Thanks, Vince. I appreciate that. So Vince is saying I'm vindicated to all the people from chat who were attacking. Yeah, Vince, I'm not going to lie. Look, when you're wrong, you're wrong. If somebody was attacking you because you were saying something that was true, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. That was very nice of you to point that out and to stay persistent, because I didn't understand what you were talking about.
In my defense too, I haven't actually seen that new fundraiser, the GoFundMe. I have the old one up. If I would have seen Good Springs on that, I would have corrected that.
Well, so just so you guys know, moving forward, please stop putting fundraisers in the sidebar, except for this one, the one that I just put here.
Yeah,
do not put any other fundraisers in the sidebar. I'm trying to raise money for Chille's case for the crime scene arrest, for that arrest only. So you guys, please stop putting all these other ones in the sidebar. It's pissing me off, because we created a separate GoFundMe account for that arrest, so you guys could see where your money was going. It was for you guys.
Yeah, because I think what everybody's doing is putting in the other fundraiser, which is the I think this is the appeals one.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is for the one I originally had the link for.
Yeah,
is the one that's up to 26 grand to 35. That's for the appeals.
That's right. This one is a completely separate one that we set up a couple days ago, and I raised $1,300 for the first day. And what we're trying to do is so I keep on putting it in the sidebar, and then I'll see that somebody puts an old link in there and they're donating to a different cause. And so I want you guys to know what we're trying to do is get donations to get this case dismissed, because we think this is a BS case that should have never been filed.
Here's the thing.
It should have never been filed.
Here's the thing. I know that this fund right here is for the new attorney for the second case, and they can donate all they want. But here's the deal, and I don't mean Brian. the deal is, I sent that email. Let's hope this guy just drops the cases. Then we don't have to worry about a fund. You know.
Yeah, we want to get the case dismissed.
I know. I'm seeing trolls out here. I don't know. I'm gonna let. I haven't seen it, but Chevy and Dr. Donna's out there. If they want to boot him, because this guy's like now saying my flag is a gay leather flag. This is the guy I think that just fixed or caught the mishap. So I don't know what's going on, man.
So, anyways,
everybody's talking about a troll, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I try not to worry too much about the so-called trolls and stuff. We're down to like 64. We might as well just cut it for today, guys.
I be trolling.
So let's just do this tomorrow. I will probably either go on Delete Laws or this channel to give you an update about Chille in the dungeon. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Save this with your friends. Save this with your families. Share this. Let me know. Give me some updates if you want me to do my a public or a subscription only channel to teach you guys law. If you want me to do that,
because you never know if the thought police are going to take this down.
Yeah, and make sure to like, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. That being said, Semper Fi, do or die. Peace.